it's like, just calm down, folks. Just calm down. And welcome in to the Best Boys Center Ice podcast as we are getting down to the last week before the end of the NHL regular season. In fact, the NHL regular season will end a week from tonight. The
Yep.
playoffs start on next Saturday, the most exciting time of the year. This is where I think, the first week of free agency and the trade deadline are probably
Yeah.
the three times at Carson that I really get jacked up
Oh,
because
yeah.
this next week is going to be a lot
Insane.
of scenarios. You're going to hear all over the place. Well, scenario if this team wins or if this team doesn't win, what this team needs to do to get in, what this team needs to do to get a better seeding. This
Yeah.
is what's going to go on for the next 7 days as the NHL wraps up. Most teams have 3 games left. Some teams have 4.
Yep.
Teams like the Kings, I think, have 5 games
5.
left. But it's right down to it, Carson. It is time for the NHL playoffs. Our podcast, of course, is available on Facebook Live as we are on right now. And then it's also available on our YouTube channel, Best Boys Center Ice Podcast on YouTube. We love for you to subscribe because that's where you're going to get every night of the week of the playoffs.
Yep.
Every night we're going to come out and we're going to do a show. It's probably going to be late because we want to get to after the last game is played. But we're going to get you up to date every night on what that night's playoffs looked like. Now Pittsburgh's got some good news. Finally,
Oh, thank
Pittsburgh
God.
got some good news. The Oilers, hopefully, within the next couple of games, will be in the same kind of position where they can be like, okay, we're in. But
Oh,
it's
what a
it's
relief.
an exciting
What a
time,
relief.
especially in like let's say Pittsburgh's made the playoffs for the first time in how many years?
Since 2022, they officially qualified as of 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, so they beat New
Woo.
Jersey tonight, 5-2.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a team that everybody I think was pulling for all year. Whether you're a Penguins fan like Carson or not, I think you're pulling for the Penguins to get back in it because you got
Well,
guys like Malkin, you got guys like Crosby, Letang. The big three, they're still there. They're still very viable, as you can tell. Gino had a hat trick the other night. Sid's playing probably the best hockey he's played in 10 years, really, honestly. And Letang is probably the most consistent defenseman I've ever seen play. So it's time for them to get back in it, and they're not just squeaking in;
no.
they're
No.
in the second
Well,
spot in the Metro.
and about uh again, should have hold up, which there's no reason it probably won't. In about 6 minutes, the Red Wings are up on the Flyers 6-2. And should that score hold where the Flyers lose in regulation, they will also have home ice in the first round
Yeah,
with that. So, I mean, huge night for the. I'll get into it later, but huge night for the team. Obviously, I'm very jacked up and excited. I get to watch them in the playoffs again, and I'll get more into it. But this team was just from the beginning had no expectations. They weren't supposed to be here. They were supposed to be a fluke team if they were doing well, and they proved everybody wrong. But we can get into that. But I'm very excited at this moment. That is
and
for sure.
like to welcome anybody who wants to come in and talk on our Facebook or on YouTube.
Yep.
We talk about your favorite team. Is your team still got a chance? Is your team out, or is your team just set and ready, waiting for April 18th to
I'm
come
so
around?
excited for that day. I can't wait.
So we just talked about Pittsburgh, what they needed to do tonight to clinch, and they did it. It all comes down to whether, okay, we got to win this or they got to lose this. All it is for the teams that
Winning
are,
in.
you got to win. You've got to win to get in. If you can't just rely on somebody else beating
Yeah.
somebody else
Well,
to beat somebody else for you to
that's
get in.
that's why I knew tonight, like coming into tonight, okay, like obviously there were plenty of situations like if the Penguins lost, uh, but the Jackets and Flyers lost in regulation, which they're on pace to right now, the Penguins would have that spot anyway. But why not go into it on a high note and win? You
Yeah.
know, that's really what it is at this point. The teams, which we'll talk about in a minute, that are ahead, all they got to do is win. if they keep winning, they're in. That's all it is at this point of the season. Even if you honestly grab a point in the OT or SOL, you're you're probably okay
Yeah,
because those teams, every team that's going for it is maybe choking up a little bit on their sticks a little bit more. There's going to be mistakes made out there. But yeah, winning and you're in. Like, so if you're a team like we'll get into with Edmonton, their spot's not locked up, but those teams like them, Anaheim, Vegas, even in the East,
mhm,
Ottawa, you just keep winning games, you're going to be in the number, and that's all it takes.
yeah,
But yeah, so we'll go over these scenarios here in a minute because there's a lot that's going to happen in the next 7 days
yeah,
that could change the course really of
mhm,
the season for many teams. Honestly, at this point,
yeah. And I'd like to say hi to Beth. She's watching
hi
us
Beth.
tonight.
Yep.
She's watching us on Facebook. Join us if you want. You can join in the conversation with Carson and I. Okay, so we talked about Penguins. So they're in. It's just a matter
They
of
got that X.
home ice.
It took a minute to reset. I was checking. I was refreshing the NHL app
Yeah,
every 5 seconds, and I finally see that magic X. So
yeah.
it's good.
Okay, so let's
Do you
see.
want me
The
to get into
other
the scenarios, or do you want to do it?
okay, I've got some of the scenarios for today. Okay, so Pittsburgh clinched the playoff berth with the win over New Jersey tonight. They got Buffalo.
Buffalo beat
They beat
the
Columbus
Jackets.
in any fashion tonight, and then I think does that give Pittsburgh home ice, or is that's the
What?
Philadelphia
No,
game?
the Red Wings Flyers game, which is over in about 3.5 minutes. The Flyers needed to lose in regulation, and if they do, which they more than likely will, the Penguins will have home ice officially because they can be caught up in points. I think technically, if they were to lose out and those teams were to win out, but they have the regulation wins tiebreaker.
Okay,
So that's something to keep in mind. When we go into these, the main tiebreaker in the NHL is regulation wins. So it's not total wins, not
yeah,
shootout wins, not it's regulation wins is the first tiebreaker. So that's going to maybe make or break some teams getting in a week. But yeah, the Penguins they did their as the first clinching scenario that was really being talked about. They did all of it. They won, got in the playoffs, and they're a few minutes away from clinching home ice, regardless of who they have to play in round one.
right. Okay, so now the next scenario that they came up with for today. Now this is just for today. The
Yeah,
games that involve teams that are playing today in the Western Conference. Colorado can clinch the President's Trophy if they defeat Calgary tonight in any way, fashion, overtime, or regulation, or if they get 1 point against the Flames and Chicago beats Carolina in
which
any
they're
fashion,
down 3-1. So I don't know if that will happen, but I mean, I have faith the Avalanche will probably beat Calgary.
or if the Blackhawks defeat the Hurricanes in regulation. So that's for Colorado to get the President's Trophy, which
Yeah,
we've seen in the past. The President's Trophy doesn't mean a whole
doesn't
lot.
matter, but I mean, the Avalanche are going to get it. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
matter of
There's
which game they get it because
it's just
they've
a
got.
matter of whether they get it today in the next game or a game against Edmonton, second last game of the regular season. Um, okay, the Edmonton Oilers will clinch a playoff berth even though they're idle tonight. If Anaheim defeats San Jose in any fashion tonight, the Utah Mammoth defeat the Nashville Predators in regulation, and with any result in the Winnipeg Jets St. Louis Blues game tonight, other than a Jets regulation win, and the Oilers will clinch.
Well, the Jets are up 3-1 in the second intermission, so
Yeah.
you might hope for a Blues comeback in the third.
The Mammoth will clinch a playoff berth if they defeat the Predators in regulation and the Ducks defeat the Sharks in any fashion.
Okay,
So
and
that's the
Mammoth are
playoff
up 1-0
scenarios
right now. So
that I had for today's games.
yes,
Now, as far as the what as far as the if the playoffs started today,
yeah.
we'll go in the East first. It would be the first round matchups would be Buffalo against Boston, so that's Atlantic Division against the wild card number one, and then Tampa Bay would take on Montreal. That's Atlantic 2 and Atlantic 3, with Tampa Bay having home ice.
Yep.
In the other bracket, it's Carolina, which is the Metro number one against wild card number two, which right now is Ottawa. And of course, we just talked about Pittsburgh. having the Metro 2 against Philadelphia Metro 3. There you go, the Battle of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy.
That's going to be crazy. Western Conference, like we said, Colorado, they're pretty much going to be wrapped up for the President's Trophy either tonight or the next game.
Yeah.
They would take on Nashville, who is the wild card number 2. Dallas and Minnesota would play in the first round. That's Central 2 against Central 3.
Hmm.
And then the Edmonton Oilers, right now, number 1 in Pacific, against the number 1 wild card Utah. That's going to be a good matchup. And then the other matchup would be Vegas and Anaheim, which is um, uh, Pacific 2 against Pacific 3. So that's if the playoffs were to start today.
Yeah.
Um, I think, and I think I text this to you. This is just my thinking as far as the Oilers clinching the Pacific Division. I think they win. They win one more game, and LA loses.
Yeah.
I think they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They win 2 of the next 3 games that they have, and I think they clinch the Pacific. And they've got LA Saturday. They got Colorado at home, and then they wind up with Vancouver next week at home. So to me, and I might be wrong, but I think that's what the Oilers have to. They ought to
They
check
just,
out
I
that.
I mean, if they win 2 out of the 3, let's play a look at that. So they'd be at 94 points. Anaheim couldn't catch them. If Anaheim loses tonight to San Jose, they can't catch Oilers if Oilers win 2 more games.
Yeah,
That's saying that they went out after that with the remaining 3. Vegas does have uh, does have a game in hand, but they're 3 back on regulation wins. So
yeah,
really, the Oilers, I think, just win 2 more. They're good. They
yeah.
they can't, because unless Vegas were to win the last 4, they can't catch.
No,
They
and like,
can't catch them.
okay, so it's everybody makes it.
Well, actually, you know what? One more regulation win for the Oilers
Yeah,
would put them. They wouldn't be able to be caught by Vegas. They technically could get caught, but 2 regulation wins by Edmonton, they cannot be caught for the regulation win tiebreaker by anybody.
no.
So they just got to do that.
And like in the past, the Oilers have always said, "Well, winning the division is not a big thing," and they haven't won the division since 1987. And we've talked about it before. We've texted about it before. It's hard to believe with all those, even because like in '87, you still had Gretzky was still there. Messier was there until like '92 or '91 or '92, and then you had some pretty lean years in the '90s and the 2000s. But then in the McDavid era, they've never won the title. They've never won the regular season division title. They've never had to. They've never been a big deal. But I think it is. If you go into that locker room and you're a fly on the wall in the locker room, I think winning the Pacific is a big thing.
Mhm.
It doesn't like they'll play like they won. I think they won their 19th or 20th game on the road last night in
Mhm.
San Jose. So they're pretty even home team, road team. So I don't think home ice has got that big of
A big of a
a
deal.
deal. But winning the Pacific would be huge um, for the Oilers, especially how they did it without Leon Draisaitl and Zach Hyman in the
Yes.
fold for the last Draisaitl for the last almost 3 weeks. Um,
And with that, the Penguins have officially clinched home ice. The Flyers
they
just
have.
lost 6-3 in regulation, so they have gotten home ice now.
So I'd like to also welcome in Jamie, who's watching tonight, and Lori, who is watching as well. And so we've got some ladies that are hockey
Yeah.
fans that are watching, and there's a couple of ladies that are going to become hockey widows here in about a week that we know of. um, so congratulations to the Pittsburgh Penguins. I know how much that team means to you, and
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's my second favorite team. Not just because it's your favorite team, but
Yeah.
I love Sidney Crosby. I just always loved him. I love this game. He was the face of the NHL for so many years. Him and Alex
Yeah.
Ovechkin. As much as
Yeah.
we don't like, we always complain about Ovi. That
They
was
were the
the
face. They were
that
the
was
league.
that was the McKinnon McDavid of the
Yeah. They
of the
carried the NHL
2000s.
for about 10 years. They
Yeah,
really did.
I think, in all honesty, I think the Ovechkin Crosby rivalry kept the NHL buzz going and
Yeah.
to where it is now.
Well, and they always had to play each other in the playoffs for the most
Yeah,
part, and their regular season games in general too are really, really good. I mean,
yeah,
there's tons of, and yeah, it's yeah, you're right. I mean, It's good to see him back. I mean, as much as the last couple of years were not the best. I mean, there were points where they just looked awful. Like they just looked so bad, and it's you knew that they were better than that.
Yeah.
And I knew they were better than that. They just needed the right guys in there. I said it last year. In fact, I just watched that show from us not too long ago, where I was saying all they needed to do was get the right guys in that room, and they were going to be back. And I
Hmm.
said that at the end of last season, because I believed it. I mean, I did. I saw flashes of greatness, so they were going to get there. And sure enough, this year, I mean, a whole team effort. I mean, they got from guys like Brazo, who started off the season so hot. He kind of cooled off a little bit, but he really carried the team off at the beginning. The Mantha came in, had his best year of his career, scoring 31 so far this season. Carlson having the best year since probably his Norris year.
Right.
He was on fire, and he was the MVP of the team this year by far. And then guys like Chinikov get traded here, and he gets 18 goals. Uh, and he only had three with Columbus. He scores 18 here, gets 21 so far in the season. But yeah, you're right. I mean, just as well. That team does mean a lot to me. I watch all the games as much as I can. And so it's fun to get to see meaningful hockey again, where they're going to be playing in the spring. And regardless of how far they go, it's going to be exciting because I have an investment in it this time. And, the Penguins were a good team in the teens. They were. And they obviously fell off the ladder a little bit the last few seasons. But they've had their own share of heartbreak, games where they finally got beat by Washington. They got swept by the Islanders in 2019. That was embarrassing. And then they had the 21 series against the Islanders where they had a 2-2 series tie, and Jars had such a bad turnover on that overtime goal for Josh Bailey that just sealed the series. And then finally the 2022 series against the Rangers, they're up
Hmm.
3-1. Game five in MSG, they have a 2-0 lead in that game, and Sid gets headshot pretty much by Jacob Truban's out for game 5 and 6, and the Penguins end up losing. Not why they lost for sure, but they lost, and that was a big factor in that. So, this is winding down for them. I mean, with their big guys, and all the credit in the world to Dan Muse, coach, who's the first year head coach of this league. He definitely is going to be in there for head coach of the year, but. Uh, GM of the year's got to be Kyle Dubas. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but he's gotten 80 plus goals of $7 million in cap space with Chinikov, Brazo, Mantha. Those guys eh, barely took up any cap. I mean, only I think those three were 6 million, and there's one more in there that I'm missing. That uh, Kindle had 17 goals, and he's a rookie. So it's nice now that they've gotten their spot. Obviously, they got the home ice part of it. You're still playing for pride. They got 2 points to 100, but it's one of the best stories
Yeah.
outside of Buffalo. I think Buffalo is the story of the year for sure because of how long they've waited to get in. But this was a good story,
Mhm.
and it's nice to see what's happening so far with that team.
Yeah. So before we move on, we've got our next week when we do our show, we'll have our definite
But I
playoff
want to talk
predictions.
about this. Well, it's still in the same topic of the league, but I'm going to go over the scenarios here because there's some things that could happen in
Okay.
both sides. This will probably take up the next 15, 20 minutes, but who cares? We got all the time in the world. So we'll start with the East because that's where things are a bit more squirrely right now. So you've got 5 spots taken up. Buffalo, Tampa Bay, Montreal, and the Atlantic have all gotten their spots. It's still not decided who's going to be the division champion there. Carolina won the Metro division already. They're number one. And then obviously Pittsburgh just clinched. They've got a spot. But you've got 3 spots left. Currently, Metro 3 is Philadelphia, followed by Wildcard 1 Boston and Wildcard 2 Ottawa. So, Boston Bruins, they clinch a spot with one more win. One more win and they've got it. Even a point, I think they'll pretty much be okay. But if they get a win, they're guaranteed that spot. In wild card 1, they're going to have it. So now it's going to be up to wild card 2 and Metro 3. We'll start with Metro 3 because Metro 3 is where it really gets dicey. The Flyers have 92 points, 78 games played, updated as of just a couple minutes ago with their loss to the. Actually, you know what? It's not fully updated yet. Let me refresh my screen. Okay, now it is. Flyers are at 92 points, 79 games total. With their loss to the Red Wings a few minutes ago, that was fully updated. Then below them in the Metro, you've got the Islanders 91 points, 79 games, and finally Columbus Blue Jackets 90 points, 91 games. Or 90 points, 79 games. So, the Flyers right now are the team with the ball in their court. If the Flyers win out, they've got it. They cannot be caught. Should the Flyers lose, they've got 3 more games left. They play against Winnipeg, Carolina, which is going to be a tough one, and Montreal. So those are 3 pretty challenging games. If they get 4 points in that span, let's say they go 2-0-1 or 2-1-0, they'll finish with 96. The Islanders can win out and beat them by 1 point. The Islanders have the remaining schedule against Ottawa, which is going to be a very tough game because Ottawa's still hasn't gotten their spot. And then they play Montreal and Carolina. So that's 3 very hard games. I imagine Carolina will be resting guys because they've gotten their spot already. They've got number one.
Mhm.
Montreal at that point is probably still going to be fighting for which position they're in. They're going to be playing for it. That's going to be 3 very hard games for the Islanders, but they just picked up a big win against the Leafs. So if they win out and the Flyers will lose 1 game, in regulation, they can catch them. And then finally, the Jackets, which I think that they're. I don't want to see too far gone. You never know, but they're the outlier. They've got it. They can max out at 96. So you've got to hope for them that the Flyers lose at least once more. Now, the Islanders right now hold the regulation win tiebreaker with 29 total regulation wins. The Jackets have the next most of 27, and finally the Flyers at 25. So should the Islanders and Flyers tie it at the end of the season with points, the Islanders will pass them because they've had more regulation wins. And same thing, the Jackets tie with Philadelphia for whatever reason. The Jackets will get that one as well, most likely, unless they don't win in regulation anymore. So out of all that, this is what I gather from it. Yes, the Flyers are in a spot right now. Uh, I think that they do have it under control because I think they have an easier schedule. The Islanders got a gauntlet. I mean, that's a hard schedule. Ottawa, Montreal, and Carolina. 2 of those games at home, one on the road. And then the Jackets have to play Montreal, Boston, Washington. So I don't know. I think the order of it in my mind of how it's going to go is I think the Flyers are my favorite probably to get that last spot, and then after that I would go the Islanders and Jackets. I think the Islanders just are gonna. They've got a new coach in there. Obviously, Pete DeBoer just started. I think the Jackets just fell off a little bit at the wrong time. They just had a rough stretch of 7 games where they just, I think, went 0-5-2 or something like that. They finally won the other night against the Wings, but then they had a dud against the Sabres tonight, 5-0 loss. Uh, I think the Flyers just caught fire at the right time. The Islanders kind of fell off their tracks a little bit, and the Jackets fell off at the wrong time. I think this is the Flyers' spot to get for the Metro 3. And then I'll finish up the wild card real quick and you kind of go what you think of that, and then we can move to the West. Wild card number 2. Ottawa's in control of that right now. 94 points, updated as they just beat Florida a couple minutes ago. If they win 2 more games, they've got it clinched up because they can't be caught. They've also got more regulation wins that cannot be caught. So if they tie points with any of those guys that are competing for a spot, they will have it because they've got more regulation wins. Ottawa at this point of the season now has to play Islanders, New Jersey, Toronto. So they've gone out of those 4 teams, they've got the easiest road because the Devils are done, the Leafs are done already. And the way the Sens have been playing, I don't think they're going to relinquish it. I think they've also got that pretty much locked up. Uh, Unless for whatever reason they lose every game left and the Wings win the rest of them, which they could. They're at 91 points. They're 3 points back, but they've fallen off at the wrong time. The same thing. I think it's Ottawa's spot to lose, and I think they're going to keep it and hold that WC2. They could also get WC1 from Boston, but I don't see that happening. But you never know. This league's kind of crazy. But right now, again, you've got those teams fighting for Metro 3, Wildcard 2. What do you think about that, or what are your thoughts maybe on what will happen?
Well, I like Ottawa. I really do. I think they're coming on at the right time. Um, I think they're going to get the wild card number two.
Yep.
I think I I just think the way Ottawa has been playing, and you're right, they have an easy schedule, the easier schedule to get into the wild card. I still think Philadelphia will take this the Metro 3. I just don't see the Islander like okay, when you make a coaching change this late, I know
Yeah,
Vegas did with Torch and they're trying to, like bolster up, I just don't know why with 8 games left or four,
it was
7 games
four,
left, whatever it
four
was,
games left.
4 games left that you make a coaching change like that when you're still haven't clinched. Like they haven't clinched yet. The Islanders they
Yeah,
haven't clinched. I just think that things are just the ship is sinking in Union in on Long Island. Well, then
yeah,
even though they're not on Long Island anymore.
yeah.
Um,
They really
I just
got
think,
just they had it. They really had it in their destiny when they played back-to-back Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Buffalo. They
yeah,
did, and they lost both of those games in regulation. That just kind of
yeah.
turned the tide right there.
So I just think Philly's got. I think Philly will get that
They've got
last.
the mojo right now. They're
Yeah.
playing really well. I mean, other than tonight
Now,
losing, they're
a,
playing.
a team that I would be afraid of in the East is Montreal. Well,
Yeah,
every time I see highlights of the Canadians, it's just like they're just like on fire. Like it's Cole Caulfield is
he's
just
got
a
50 goals now. He
beyond.
officially got 50 tonight.
So it's like he's just like they're just playing. They're the team that could be the team you don't want to
Well,
play in the playoffs.
and that's going to be interesting too. The Atlantic, because even though the spots are all taken, those teams are all uh, within striking distance for the top seed. I mean, the the Buffalo Sabres have played 80 games. They've got 106 points. The Lightning and Canadians both have played 78 games. Each got 102 points. So at 80 games, they could all be tied in points, all of them.
Yeah,
And should Lightning win twice in regulation, they would have the same amount of regulation wins as the Sabres. That's where the Canadians are kind of screwed, is that they cannot pass up anybody for regulation wins. They're not able to catch that number.
right.
Uh, I think, looking at this, I think that I have a bit of a change happening. I think Montreal's going to take that top spot, though. I think
In the,
Tampa's going to lose one game at some point, and I think Montreal's going to win out, and they're going to take that top spot.
you think Montreal's going to have the number one spot in the Atlantic?
I think Montreal will take the number one spot, and then I think that Buffalo will have number two and Tampa number three. That's
Oh
my
wow.
personal
Yeah.
thought. Tampa Bay's got to play, let's see, Boston, because they just lost to the Canadians right now. They've got to play. Wait, so hold on. These aren't fully up to date then. So with that, actually, the Canadians now are number two. I'm sorry. So they've each got 79 games played, but the Lightning now are in third with 102 points. The Canadians 104. So yeah, I think the Canadians pass up Buffalo, take number one, but I think Buffalo will have home ice against the Lightning in round one.
Okay. So yeah, they haven't updated. So yeah, Montreal have they updated?
Yeah,
No,
because they're each at 79. So if you're looking and they have 79 games played, then that's
no.
fully
So
updated.
I'm looking at Yahoo and they haven't updated the
Yeah. And
standings
the
yet.
Tampa Bay's got to play. See, I just pulled it up. Boston, Detroit, New York Rangers, and the Canadians. Even though I think talked all those games already. Columbus, Islanders, Philadelphia. So three straight Metro games, and they're actually all on the road, or one on the home, first one at home, and the last two are on the road. But they have a lot to play for, and I think that they're going to get that top spot and
Okay.
take on
Yeah. Okay. I've
Ottawa.
just switched over to ESPN. Yeah, they have Montreal now. It's the second spot.
Yeah, that's a big win for them. Actually, I forgot that they were playing each other tonight. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's a big win.
Yeah.
100%.
So
That's the East. The East is going to be, just because there's so many spots up for grabs right now and so many
mhm,
seating spots up for grabs. The East is going to be insane. Now, the West is no different, really, because you've still got a lot more. There's a lot more undecided in the West right now.
right.
Obviously, we've talked about already about the Pacific, Anaheim, Vegas, and Edmonton all going for that top seed. It's the same thing. It's Edmonton's right now to lose. They went out. They've got it. They can't be caught. Uh, Anaheim and Vegas are only 1 point separated, but I think Anaheim's fallen slow a little bit, and I don't think they're going to catch up.
Oh,
I think they'll be that third spot, and then Utah's pretty much got WC1 lined up. I think. I mean,
yeah.
they. I don't think Nashville's going to catch them, or any of those teams are going to catch them. I think they've pretty much sitting pretty in wild card one. Now WC2. This is going to be very interesting because you've got a lot of action happening. Seattle and St. Louis, unfortunately, I think are pretty much cooked. They're
Yeah.
done. Seattle's done. I mean, they cannot. There's no way they're going to make up that much. St. Louis, same thing, just kind of fell apart a little bit during
Mhm.
the season. Winnipeg's pretty much on the cusp of that too, but they just beat St. Louis, so I'll give them a pass. They might be able to do something. But finally, Nashville's got that second wild card spot, 84 points, 78 games played. So again, it's theirs. They can win out and take the spot. LA, well, actually, no, never mind. LA is a game back with a point back as well. So LA wins out. Actually, they get the spot.
Mm,
Uh, San Jose is 2 points back of LA with the same amount of games played. And finally, Winnipeg is 1 point back of San Jose, same amount of games played. So they've each got a game in hand on Nashville.
right.
Now, those teams, I'm going to pull up right now their matchups for the rest of the way. So LA, they play Vancouver tonight, Edmonton Saturday, Seattle, Vancouver, Calgary. So kind of a easier ending, really, except the game against you guys. Smashville, they play. They're playing Utah right now, and they're losing 1-0. And then they play Minnesota, San Jose, Anaheim. So that's a bit of a
Mm,
tough schedule to finish it out. The Sharks, they're playing against Anaheim now, Vancouver, Nashville, Chicago, Winnipeg. And then we'll pull up Winnipeg anyways. They got to play Philadelphia, Vegas, Utah, San Jose. Uh, I think, even though they're back right now, I think that San Jose will sneak it and get that spot.
oh,
I think that even though they lost last night, that was a crushing game really for them that they couldn't get. I just think they've played with. I think out of those three teams, them, Nashville, and LA, that is the team that has played with the most spunk and spark, and I think they're just going to claw their
mm,
way in and win these last 4 out of 5 games and clinch it.
yeah.
I think that they have the best chance to make noise out of all those teams. Honestly, I think they really do. Not saying any shame on those guys, like the rest of the teams, but I think the Sharks just are going to do it. I think they've just got that energy around them right now. They just got to get decent goaltending. We already know what Celebrini and those guys can do. They're going to be playing for pride. They're not supposed to get in either, and I think that they're going to sneak up and get that WC2 away from Nashville. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I'm not comfortable with Nashville. I don't like how they're playing right now. They're barely hanging on to that wild card number two. I tend to agree with you, Car. We're going with San Jose. Even though they lost last night, the Oilers just really pinned them up defensively. They can go offensively. They can score. We know they got a quick team. They got a good team. I just think San Jose's just been wants it more than maybe LA and Nashville does right now. And I think of those three teams, and I'm taking Winnipeg out of the scenario. I think of those three teams, San Jose, the Kings, and Nashville, San Jose's the more hungry of the three. From the games that I've seen, highlights that I've seen, I just think San Jose, even though they lost last night, are the team that could sneak in there in the
Yeah,
last day of the regular season. And so that would put San Jose up against Colorado in the first round. But I think I just don't like how LA and Nashville are playing right now. They're just not hungry enough, I think. So yeah, I agree. San Jose is going to sneak in there and get that wild card.
it would be so good for the game if they do. I mean, really, it would.
Yeah.
That's going to be a loud arena if they get it. And this is just a start for them. I mean, they're going to be a good team for a while. So I hope they get it. But I mean, even if they don't, that's not a lost season. They had a really good year, regardless.
That's gonna, this is a team that's building. This is a team. Um,
They built well. I mean, really, they
yeah,
had so much cap, and they went out and got whoever they freaking could, and it's worked. I mean,
mm,
I feel like they've got that fun young energy with Celebrini and those guys. That those even the vets love playing in
mhm,
that place. They love playing with them. I'm honestly surprised that more guys didn't try to go out to San Jose
yeah,
or that they free agency will be interesting this year to see who goes
mhm,
because I mean they've got such a fun environment. It looks like they're like just you would enjoy your life playing there.
mhm,
And obviously the goal is to win the Stanley Cup, but they've got the guys on there that I think will eventually get it done. And it's a matter of when, not if. And it could be pretty soon. And again, that's a team I think out of all those that we named that will give Colorado the most trouble.
yeah.
As much as goaltending kind of somewhat suspect sometimes, offensively, I don't think they're matched by anybody. I mean, LA's kind of been meh for me. Same with Nashville, kind of meh for me. I think San Jose just got that energy that I think it's more exciting. They're gonna really be a tester team
Mhm.
for the Avalanche if they end up getting it.
Yeah.
Uh, they definitely will be the best matchup out of those. Uh, but yeah, time will tell. I mean, we got a week left, and there's still so much undecided. Obviously, it's kind of weird tomorrow. There's no game, so nothing will be changing tomorrow. A lot of action probably over the weekend because
Yeah.
every team will probably play at least once, sometimes maybe some maybe twice. It'll be more of the waiting game for the teams that finish up on probably Tuesday night that they have to wait till Thursday.
Yeah.
There very well could be that situation where we come down to Thursday night at the 9:30 slot. There's this spot on the line, and
Hmm.
you best believe that if that's the case, you and I'll probably be watching that game because
Yeah.
if it comes down to
It's going to
game
be.
82 and you've got somebody playing where they win and they're in or they lose
Yeah.
they're out,
Yeah.
that's going to be important.
It's always fun to watch that.
Yeah.
You win in your
Well,
end games.
and the thing I think too that is interesting, talk about a little bit, not enough. These I don't want to call them OT or shootout merchants, but uh, that's done after this. I mean, after the season, that's all gone. It's 5-on-5 the whole way.
Yep.
So it's a different animal. The playoffs are a different animal with
Hmm.
how much the game really changes. Points go out the door.
Yeah.
It's all just starting fresh. It'll be interesting to see the differences in the teams because some teams, like, okay, Pittsburgh, they're done Tuesday. That's
Hmm.
it. They're done till I imagine, really honestly, that they'll play Saturday, probably the early game at like 1 o'clock or 3:30. But versus the teams that are finishing on Thursday, and depending how high stakes hockey you're playing, you could be playing. You're playing playoff games right now.
Yeah.
Versus the other teams that are starting to probably rest guys, which they should. I definitely think, like Colorado, Carolina, teams that have already solidified their spot as well as their home ice, might as well rest guys and not risk anything. Uh, but some teams will be playing on Thursday and playing for their lives, and they have to come back on Saturday and maybe, who knows, maybe travel
Yeah.
and have to play on Saturday.
Well, I know
Uh,
the Oilers' last game is Thursday night, yeah, against Vancouver.
Yeah,
So.
but I'm excited. I mean, this is the best time of the year. Obviously, we're pretty close to for history for our show where both of our teams are in the dance.
Mhm.
This hasn't happened yet. Usually, it's the other way around where the Oilers are already in, and I'm just waiting around
Yeah.
to give my goodbye speech on the season, but not this season.
Yeah. This season.
No,
Okay. Hang on to that one there.
yep, I can't shave anymore.
I want to say hi to Ashlyn. She's watching. Oh, ladies watching tonight.
Yeah, I
It
can't
must be.
shave.
It
I
must.
can't shave anymore. I'm
Huh?
done. I can't shave anymore. I can't now. I got the I gotta now the playoff
No,
well
it's yeah, playoff beard time. Yeah,
playoff
it's
beer time. I might give myself one more refresh this weekend, maybe just a
yep,
small little refresh, and
no,
after
yeah.
that I'm not touching it.
Whatever happens, the beards on Thursday will stay for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah, so you know what? Yeah, I'll give it one more refresh probably on Sunday or something, and then I'm
Yeah,
done. I'm not touching it.
uh,
But yeah, this season, honestly, in general, uh, has been a really fun season. Regardless, there's been a lot of different things going on. I mean, who would have thought Florida, the two-time back-to-back champs,
mhm,
done? And
yeah,
as again, we've already talked about this. Not on. They had so many injuries. They're going to be back next season. No doubt about it. The New York Rangers President's Trophy winners a couple years ago out. First
yeah,
team in the East to be done. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Mitch Marner's gone. They are not in. Bye bye.
mhm,
A lot's changed this season. There's a lot of new faces. If let me look at the current picture right now. If you look at the current picture, you will have a total of, let's see, two, three, four. You will have a total of five new teams in the playoffs this year with from last year to this year. So those teams will be Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, with the current picture, of course, Utah, which has never been in the playoffs in their franchise history, and Anaheim. Those are all brand new teams to
mhm,
this year. So I mean, there's a lot's happened, and you know, even for those fans of teams that okay, like Florida, that aren't in anymore. This, as a hockey fan or as a sports fan, is going to be a very exciting Stanley Cup playoffs because of all the new blood that's in it.
yeah.
A lot of new series are going to happen because of that. You know, you've got Edmonton, Utah, most likely is going to happen, which hasn't happened before. Even Vegas, Anaheim. Okay, that's a series that's never happened. Uh, you got to go to the East. Okay, right now the way it sits, Buffalo, Ottawa hasn't happened. Montreal, Tampa, very interesting series, a rematch of the 2021 Cup Final. Uh, or sorry, Buffalo and it would be Buffalo Boston. Sorry, so that's an interesting one, an Atlantic Division rivalry reignited again, and finally the Battle of PA. Should it stay? I mean,
Mhm.
we're going to be throwing that back to 20 teens, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, where there's fights,
Mhm.
hits like crazy, goals. I imagine lots of goals. But it's going to be an exciting postseason, and we're
Yep.
going to be here. Obviously, we'll do our best, like last year, to be here as many nights as we can. You know, with it's going to be carnage. There's going to be a lot happening. There's going to be action from on the weekends, 12 or 1 o'clock to 12 at night, and on
Mhm.
the weekdays you've got, on the weekdays when the first round starts, you're going to have four plus games a night,
Yep.
and it's going
So
to be it's going to be insane.
all I gotta say, folks, is get ready because it's the most exciting time of the year for hockey
Oh,
and
I can't wait.
being a hockey fan. And we'll be there every step of the way, right through until somebody hoists the Stanley Cup over their
Mhm.
heads.
Yep,
Again, Pittsburgh's in. Congratulations to the Penguins finally getting back in it.
I know.
Um,
Back in the
the Oil-
dance.
the Oilers is just a matter of time, a matter of
Yeah,
a game or two.
I think they get it Saturday. I think
Yep.
Saturday they're pretty
Playing
good.
Saturday, they play an afternoon game against the LA Kings.
Kings.
Last road game, and then they get Colorado and Vancouver. And I'm sure the Colorado game. I'm sure the Avalanche will
They're
be
already
sitting.
resting guys.
Yeah, they're already resting guys. So it's exciting. Everything starts April 18th.
Yep.
The NHL playoffs will start. We'll next week when we're on, but probably we're debating whether we're going to do Thursday or Friday.
We'll see what the
Give us
picture looks like.
Yeah, we'll see what the playoff picture looks like. We'll come on. We'll let everybody know where we're going to be at, what time we're going to be at. It's just a fun time of the year, and I always look forward to the back and forth every night during the playoffs between you and I off camera. And just the commenting on the games. It's going to be fun to see Buffalo
Oh,
play.
I
It's going to
know
be
that
fun to
play
see you.
that that arena is going to be crazy.
It's
That's
going
going
to
to
be
be
fun
an
to see
insane atmosphere.
Utah play a home playoff game.
A filled Bell Center again.
Yeah, the
I
Bell
mean,
Center is
yeah,
going to be rocking.
Buffalo's going to be crazy because I think those streets are just going to be packed. They're going to be
Yep,
having watch parties. We're going to shut the streets down. I'm
yeah,
serious. Like they've been suffering that
yeah.
drought for so long, and they've had the Bills who've gotten so close to glory
Mhm.
so many times to win the Super Bowl, and they haven't done it. And the Buffalo Sabres literally out of nowhere just soared and won
Yep.
like 25 out of
All
30
of a
games.
sudden,
Literally,
they're the
like they
talk of
we
Northern.
I own up to it. I said the Sabres were done when
Mhm.
they started the season so bad. I'm like, they're done. They don't have it. And they won 25 or so many. It's 25 out of like 30 games or
Mhm.
something crazy like that. Buffalo's a good sports town, and that's going to be a series to watch. They better have that place mic'd up so well for that
Oh
for
yeah.
that crowd. That first goal that goes in,
Oh, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be
you
nuts.
you that you'd be surprised. You'd
I
be
think
maybe
you're
the
gonna.
roof's going to come off.
I think it's going to shake Niagara Falls.
Well,
It's
you
going to
remember
really.
there were some plays like that last year. Okay, that crazy goal to tie it for Winnipeg last season
Mhm.
in Game Seven
Yep.
against. I thought the roof would have come off. Of Canada Life Center. I've been in
Mhm.
that building. I've watched a game there,
Yep.
and that was a regular October game, and they were crazy in October. And this was a game that literally defined the rest of their season. If
Yep.
they one more second, they would have been knocked out, and they scored, and that place shook
Went
Winnipeg.
nuts.
Now you're going to get. I can already picture it in my mind that it's probably going to be a power play goal from Tage Thompson. I imagine is going to be the first goal for the Sabers, and that place is going to go crazy. Now
Nuts.
the
Crazy.
question that you ask about them: should they wear the goat head jerseys?
Oh boy.
I think they. I think you do it. I think you wear
You go
those
back
goat head
to well,
jerseys.
that's what they wore in
Absolutely.
'99 when they went to the Cup
You
final against
you do
Dallas.
the goat heads because you've got teams like Dallas who is going to be wearing their alternates. The nice new
Mhm.
99 ones they got. They're wearing alternates. What other teams are going to wear alternates? We don't know, but Buffalo's got to wear those. They've got to
Yeah,
wear the
they
goat
go wear
heads.
the buffalo head. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
it's gonna be exciting.
when it comes right down to it, it's going to be exciting to watch the playoffs. We're going to be there with you all the way. Facebook, YouTube channel, our TikToks are going to be blowing up. We'd like to thank everybody who joined us tonight. All the ladies joined us tonight.
Yep.
Guys, you got to start coming to the plate here. I know we got some Colorado Avalanche fans, and we got some fans out there of the Oilers and the Penguins, and got to come out and let us know what you think. We're going to do our playoff preview next week.
Yep.
We'll let you
I'll
know
have to bring
exactly
my
when.
bracket back, my bracket graphic back. I need
Yep,
to do
yep.
that.
Yeah, we'll do it. It's just fun, and it's going to be fun to follow along with you, Car.
Yep.
Again, great stuff. Always great to talk to you and doing the show.
Thanks.
This show will be replayed here in just a little bit. Again, thank you very much for joining us. And in the meantime, and in between time, everybody, it's playoff time.
It
Have
is.
a great hockey night.
It is playoff time.